Good morning, afternoon, or evening. With everything that's going on right now, I sure appreciate you joining me, and I think you'll be happy that you did. This presentation is going to give you 5 steps to optimize your website for maximum conversion. This is intended for 2 types of businesses. First, those that have a website but are not seeing the conversion rates they would like. And second, those who do not have a website but are planning on building one and are interested in making sure that it's properly optimized. In this presentation, I hope to give you the tools you need to build or remodel a site that boasts a high conversion rate. Before we get started, I'll just take a quick 30 seconds to tell you a little bit about us. Epowet Digital Services is an online marketing company based in Salt Lake City, Utah. Our mission is to empower and inspire organizations to be successful in a wildly connected world. At Epowet Digital Services, we do 2 things really well. First, we build websites that increase conversions and grow revenue, and also we create online sales funnels that maximize marketing ROI. We are really passionate about helping people who help people. As part of fulfilling our mission, we put a lot of focus and energy into educating business leaders on how they can use online tools to be successful and grow their business. And that's why we produce productions like this, and we also publish a blog that has many helpful articles that cover some of the topics that we're talking about today, as well as several other topics that fall within the online marketing space. As I mentioned, we're going to talk about the 5 steps you can take to optimize your website for conversion. Those steps will drive our agenda through this presentation. First, we'll talk about how to set appropriate goals. Next, we'll talk about your website and your landing pages. We'll talk about what they have in common, how they're different, and when to use one or the other. Then we'll discuss utilizing essential landing page elements to drive conversion. We'll move on to testing, how you can tell if a landing page is performing well, and how to improve lackluster conversion rates. Finally, we'll talk about maximizing your search engine optimization so that your site and pages are easy to find and user-friendly. Now, a well-designed and beautiful website is a very nice thing to have. It can draw users to your website and, through aesthetics, reward them for their time. However, your website's purpose should be more than to entertain or to please the eye. Your website needs to have a goal. And there are 2 goals that we're going to discuss in this presentation. First is that your website should generate leads. And second, your website should act as a hub for your landing pages. The first thing I'll talk about is lead generation. If your website is not generating leads for you, or otherwise facilitating your sales process, then it is really not fulfilling its purpose. With lead generation, your goal is either to get a visitor's contact information so that you can follow up with them later, or to give you direct access to your visitors by inducing them to reach out to you. Generally, you can facilitate these goals by incentivizing a visitor to provide you with their contact information in exchange for a free, high-quality resource, which is your lead magnet, and by providing a clear call to action for immediate contact. Providing a clear call to action is fairly self-explanatory. This means including an element, often a button, with a clear invitation to act. A button with the label download is one example, or a link inviting visitors to learn more. Your call to action will usually lead to a contact form, where your visitors can input their information and possibly a short message. Alternatively, you can prompt your visitors to contact you by providing your email address, phone number, or by using an on-site live chat. In this example, the visitor accesses a download page for a free resource. When they input their email address and click the download button, 2 things happen. First, they are provided with the resource that they requested. Second, they are shown a thank you page. Now this page usually contains an upsell or some other way for them to continue getting value from you. You should have call to actions throughout your website. In fact, a good rule of thumb is that no matter how far a visitor scrolls on your site or which subpages they visit, there should always be at least one call to action on their screen at any given time. When you incentivize a visitor to provide their contact information, you do so by offering what's called a lead magnet. A lead magnet can be an ebook, a presentation, a webinar, a checklist, or even something physical like a paperback book. Whatever your lead magnet is, there's absolutely one requirement. Your lead magnet must provide real value. Now in reality, you may be able to get away with a bait and switch once, but you'll alienate your would-be customers and I guarantee you won't get another shot. The best way is to be generous. Earn value by providing value. As author James Clear puts it, you can create a lot of meaning by helping someone else do something that is meaningful to them. Your lead magnet is your opportunity to do just that. Now, I talked about your calls to action and where they ought to be placed on your website. But what about your lead magnet? Where should you place that? With few exceptions, you should put your lead magnet on a dedicating landing page, which is what we'll talk about next. Before discussing the differences between your website and your landing pages, you should understand the concept of online sales funnels. An online sales funnel is the process you create to attract visitors, turn them into leads, and convert them into customers. As such, your sales funnel has 3 core stages. First is lead generation, attracting your ideal clients and guiding them to your landing page. This can be done with inbound marketing techniques such as SEO, paid advertising, social media, and content marketing. Next is lead nurturing. This is continuously providing genuine value and establishing yourself as an authority in your field. This is done through your lead magnet, your engagement on social media, and the way you position yourself within your industry. Third is converting leads into clients. This is earning the business of your leads. You can do this by following up with them, engaging with them, and providing real continuous value to your leads. Here's an example of an online sales funnel done wrong. This sales funnel is a mess. This funnel uses only 2 traffic capturing methods, SEO and print advertising, and then sends the visitor to the provider's website. Their website has the correct structure, but it doesn't guide the visitor through the process. Visitors are just left to wander around with the provider hoping that eventually they'll call or schedule a consultation. In terms of lead capturing, sending traffic to your website is really about the worst thing you can do. What you see here is much more effective. There are several traffic capturing methods that all lead to a specific landing page. That landing page then offers a lead magnet, a free consultation in this example. The idea here is to have the least amount of friction possible between your visitors and your lead magnet, while still capturing their contact information along the way. Now you might be wondering, where does your website fall into all that? The short answer is that it doesn't. You do need a website, and it needs to be clear, informative, and useful. However, your website is primarily meant for people who already know who you are and just want to learn a little bit more. The long answer is that your website is also going to act as a hub for your landing pages. This is more of a technical detail since this is largely handled on the back end, but at least some of your landing pages will be subdomains on top of your existing domain. For example, www.yourcompany.com/landingpage1. Your landing pages, on the other hand, play a vital role in your online sales funnels. As illustrated when we talked about good landing pages, each traffic capture method should lead to a landing page, and that landing page is where you offer your lead magnet. So let's talk about how you can build an effective landing page. When you're designing your landing page, simplicity is best. You want to focus purely on the product or value that you're offering without a lot of distractions. I like this example for James Clear's book, Atomic Habits. This is a screenshot above the fold, and there's more beneath, but right off the bat, you can see a few essential elements. First is the hero spot. This is the headline of what the product is offering. After going to the picture of the book, your eyes will naturally be drawn to this headline. The headline is succinct and summarizes the benefits of the book. Next is the presentation. This is an actual picture of the book along with a digital sticker announcing that over 1 million copies have been sold. This can reinforce confirmation bias to someone already interested in the book or provide social proof to someone who's still on the fence. Next, there's content. This is the subheading and a short paragraph, only 2 sentences. The subheading spells out what the actual offer is, a free download of Chapter 1, and the paragraph lines succinctly describe the value the product offers, primarily by repeating the promises made in the hero spot. Finally is the call to action. You're invited to exchange your email address for a free chapter of the book. James makes this very, very simple, and that he only asks for an email address. It's important to know that the more information you require from your visitor, the more friction you're creating. Below the fold, James also includes some additional information about himself and the book, and includes an additional call to action. These 4 elements, the hero spot, presentation, content, and call to action, are all it takes to make a great landing page. I'd like to break off and talk about friction real quick. Friction is a massive concept when we're talking about marketing. Let me give you some examples. Netflix removed the friction of late fees and the time and effort of leaving the house, and thus beat out Blockbuster Video. Uber removed the friction of high fares and limited availability, and thus beat out traditional taxi services. Amazon removed the friction of limited availability and the time and effort of leaving the house, and is thus overtaking traditional general retail. There are other factors at play in these examples, sure, but do not estimate the power and influence that friction has on your business. Now, in the context of building a landing page that converts, a point of friction is any design element that resists the end goal. For landing pages, the end goal is for the user to take action. And so an example of a point of friction would be requesting too much information from your visitors. With each field you add to your form, you're creating another point of friction. If your offer does not justify that friction, then the visitor won't convert. Website design uses the same concepts as landing page design, but in a different way. As I said before, your website is primarily meant for people who already know you exist and want to learn more information. You'd be forgiven if you thought that meant that the end goal of your website is to provide that information. You do need to do that, of course, but that's not the end goal. The end goal is to induce your visitors to engage with you. If you're thinking that goal is similar to a landing page, you are correct, but we're going to achieve it in a different way. To put it plainly, you attempt to convert your website visitors in 2 steps. First, you provide the information that they're looking for in an interactive and engaging way, and you invite them to engage with you directly. You may notice that I'm using the words engage and take action quite frequently. A few years back, I actually owned a very small mobile game studio. One of the things that surprised me getting into that business was the role that music played. You see, each game has a certain feel to it. Some games feel fun, some feel scary, some feel exciting and get your blood pumping, some make you feel heroic, and some make you feel intelligent and clever. The music actually goes a long way in creating that feeling in the player. A game like Deus Ex Human Revolution, for example, requires a lot of prolonged and intense focus, and the theme song Icarus by composer Michael McCann does an amazing job at provoking that feeling. You can look it up on YouTube. Just try listening to that next time you're in the middle of a mundane task and take note of how much energy you seem to get. Now, the reason that I bring this up is because when we talk about website design, that's what we're really talking about, provoking feelings in our visitors. And believe it or not, those feelings are largely similar to what we provoke through video game soundtracks. Feelings of excitement, accomplishment or progress, fear of not having our product or service. But instead of provoking these feelings through sound and music, we are doing it through our visual presentation. On your website, you should have at least 4 pages. The home page, this is the main page that users see when they type in your domain, and in a way this is the landing page for your site. There's the About Us page, which is used to describe your brand from the perspective of serving your customers. That is, how are you uniquely positioned to solve their problems? Your products or services page should show off the value proposition of your business and how it directly benefits your customers. Your blog has 2 primary purposes. The first is to provide consistent, high-quality content, and the second is to improve your SEO. Then your contact page provides your contact information. To provide the information that your visitors are looking for, you can use several elements. Aside from the header, which should come first, these elements can generally be used in the order that is most attractive and, of course, engaging. Now, some of these elements are pretty self-explanatory, but we'll go through them. The header is usually a few words, often accompanied by an image, that shows the visitor what you have to offer. The brand introduction is how you introduce the visitor to your brand and invite them to engage with you. Features and benefits is where you describe the features of your product and how they can directly benefit your visitors. Authority. In this section, you describe why your brand is uniquely positioned and qualified to solve your visitor's problem. Building value can be done through testimonials, and if you have them, you should use them. Testimonials are most effective when you can include a picture of the customer. Video testimonials are even better than written testimonials when done correctly. Another way to build value is to provide case studies or before and after pictures or scenarios. Calls to action. We've talked about this a bit. Throughout your website, you should be inviting your visitors to take action. Some possible actions that you might include are signing up for a newsletter, learning more about a service, scheduling an appointment, or making a purchase. And optionally, you can provide pricing information as well. Most of these elements should be present on your homepage, but they can and should be utilized on your other pages as well, mixed and matched into the layout that your visitors most respond to. Now that you know the various elements to include in your design, the next important thing to do is to determine how and in what order those elements should be presented. Different presentations and design philosophies, the different feelings that you provoke, will have an effect on conversion. As such, we're going to discuss two ways of testing your designs to find the one that converts best. These two methods can, generally, be applied to the two types of pages you have. For your website pages, you can use heuristic testing. For your landing pages, you can use A/B testing. Heuristics testing is a general test of your website as a whole. While it does not give you the same concrete metrics as A/B testing, it can be done quicker and provides insight into visitor behavior, and it can root out any problems that you may not have known otherwise. One type of heuristic test you can do is the observational test. In this test, you have a third-party individual go through your website from your homepage all the way through. During this process, you should watch but not interfere. Watch and take notes of where they get hung up, any issues they run into, any distractions they have. In short, you're looking for points of friction. Once you have this information, you can make changes to your site to streamline the user experience by removing those points of friction that you discover. Another type of heuristic test is the persona evaluation. In this test, you create a fictitious person that represents your ideal client. This persona should have a detailed background, specific needs related to your product, and unique goals. You then assume that persona and go through your website. As you explore the different design elements and read through your copy, evaluate a few different considerations. For example, is this information relevant to the persona? What questions might this persona have that we're not addressing? What objections does this persona have, and how are we overcoming them? Is there a clear direction of where the persona should go next? These considerations can help you evaluate your website in ways that you may not think to otherwise. All in all, heuristic tests are a great way to tease out issues that are not obvious. A/B testing is a methodology wherein you use two different landing pages with only one single element different between the two. For example, the headline. Then you see which performs better. If there's a large margin, then you know that one version is much more effective than the other. You use A/B testing to methodically improve your landing pages one element at a time, with full confidence that the changes you make will have a positive effect on your conversion rate. For this reason, I recommend doing A/B testing constantly. You should always have at least two landing page variations active at any given time. Constant testing means constant improvement. Similar to A/B testing is multivariate testing. With multivariate testing, you gain speed, but you lose accuracy. Multivariate testing involves changing several things between the two landing page versions, or using two completely different landing pages. Whereas A/B testing is a good way to test between landing page elements, multivariate testing is a good way to test landing page concepts such as branding, messaging, feel, etc. The primary metric used to track conversions on your landing pages is the conversion rate. The conversion rate is calculated by dividing the number of visitors who convert into customers by the total number of visitors to your landing page. So if you have 500 visitors and 23 of them convert, then your conversion rate is 23 divided by 500, or 4.6%. You will track your conversion rate as you run A/B and multivariate tests. Compare the conversion rates between the two landing page versions and mark any significant variations. If one version of a landing page is converting at a higher rate than the other, then you have an idea of which design elements or concepts your visitors are best responding to, and you can plan additional tests and changes accordingly. Although it isn't directly related to conversion optimization, no discussion of website design would be complete without talking a little bit about on-site search engine optimization. While SEO is also important for your website, it is especially vital for your landing pages. Having good SEO ensures that people in need of your product or service will actually be able to find your offer. The first step to optimizing your website for SEO is to ensure that the site is easy for search engines to index, or to make them crawlable. 4 things you can do to accomplish this are: first, know what words people are using when looking for your services. Knowing this information involves doing some keyword research, anticipating the needs of your customers, and doing some research into what words or phrases they might be using to find ways to meet those needs. Next, you need to make sure that the layout and structure of your site is easy to follow. On your website, this means that the structure of pages and subpages should make sense and possess a logical, hierarchical structure. Next, you need to provide context in your page URLs, titles, headings, content, etc. And lastly, create a site.xml file. This file is an index of your site that helps search engine crawlers easily navigate and find every page on your website. Now, once you've done that keyword research, the next thing on your site is to ensure that you are using those keywords in the key places on your website. Keywords are the things that describe your business goals, your product, or your service. The key places to put them on your site include the page title, URLs, headings and headlines, links, image alt text, which is editable in the HTML, and in the content. The last, and possibly the most powerful recommendation that I have, is to take control of your NAP. Your NAP is your business's name, address, and phone number. As a local business, this information is especially powerful, and it is often used in search engine generated SERPs. That is, the images, profiles, and other information that's not purely website links. Now, there are a few things that you can do to take control of your NAP and boost your SEO. First, put your NAP in the footer of each page on your website. Second, verify that your NAP is included on sites and directories where your business is listed. This can include industry listings, your Chamber of Commerce, Better Business Bureau, etc. Third, ensure that your NAP is always the same across all of those locations. Fourth, claim your business on search engines. Many search engines or review sites, such as Bing, Google, and Yelp, will allow you to claim your business if you're the owner. Claiming your business, ensuring the NAP and other information is correct, and adding images and other media can go a long way to improving your SEO. Lastly, it's important to manage your online reputation. This means the number and quality of your online reviews. A large number of 5-star reviews, for example, is very helpful. A handful of 3.5-star reviews is much less so. As we conclude, I want to express my appreciation again for you taking the time to review this presentation, and I hope that you found it useful. By utilizing the principles and concepts that I've discussed today, you can ensure that you have a website that converts. Remember to first establish and understand your goals. Then know when to use your website and when to use landing pages. Next, you can build converting pages by following the guidelines that we've discussed. Further refine your page design with heuristic and A/B testing, comparing conversion rates to ensure that you're using the best design. Finally, use modern search engine optimization techniques to make your site more usable, remove friction points, and get seen by more people. I've tried to cover as much as possible, but believe it or not, this was pretty high-level overview. There's a lot of deeper dives that we can do to really dig in and tease out the details on some of these topics. Even so, I think I've given you enough to get started. If there's anything that you would like to learn more about, or anything that you feel like maybe we didn't go into deep enough or even overlooked, please feel free to reach out to us. And of course, if you feel like we can help you in your online marketing efforts, we would love to hear from you. You can reach us at hello@epowet.com or via the links below. Take care.